This is training for the J129 phone. Down at the bottom of the phone we have our keypad, which most everybody's familiar with. We also have a volume bar here. So if you just press your volume bar, it adjusts the volume of your ring. If you use the speakerphone, which is this button here, it adjusts the volume of your speakerphone. In addition, it does adjust the volume of your handset as well. This button here is the mute button. So this button mutes the microphone, so it allows you to have a conversation where you can hear the other party, but the party cannot hear you. So it works with your speakerphone, and when you turn it on, it does illuminate blue, and it is a toggle so that you can turn it off. It also works with your handset as well. In the middle of your phone here, this is your speakerphone. We just kind of talked about that. This middle button here is called a menu button. And when you press that in your display, you have several menus that you can access. The first one is called Recents. So it will keep track of all of your inbound, outbound missed calls. So if you go into Recents by hitting the select soft key below, it takes you into the recent section. Because this is a new phone, there are no calls displayed. But if there were calls in here, you would use the navigational pane here and arrow up and down through the list to find the one that you would like to use. After Recents, if you arrow down, you do have a contact. Now this phone does not have access to the system-wide contact list, so you have to create your own personal contact list. And the way that you do that is you go into Contacts and you hit Select, and then you will get a new button that says New. So you press New, and you would spell out a name of the person that you're going to add to your directory, and then you arrow down to the next field, which will be Number, and you enter in the number. If it's an internal extension number, you just dial their extension number. If it's an external user, you need to make sure that you preface the number with your dial access code, which typically is a 9, but confirm with your system administrator whether it's a 9 or a different digit. So for an external number, you enter 91 area code and then the 7-digit number. Once you've entered all that, you will have a soft key that says Save, and that number will then be saved to your contact list. So after contacts, the next one is voicemail. This is where you would access your voicemail box, which we will talk about a little bit later. There are other items in here as well. Features. If you go into Features, this particular phone does not have any features configured. You may or may not have features configured depending on the system administration of your phone system. After Features, we have Settings, and in here you do have the ability to change a few settings on your phone, such as whether you want to mute your alerting, change your visual alerting. You also have the ability in here to change your audio settings. So if you want to change your ringer type up here, by default all the phones will have the same ring pattern. If you want to change your ring pattern, you just arrow through the different tones. You can play them and find the one that you want. If you find one that you want, you select it and then you save it, and that will set the ring pattern for your specific phone. Other features in here, network information. If your system administrator needs information specific to your phone, they may request that you provide network information, and this is where you can find it. There is a lock feature where you can lock your phone. We don't recommend that because you do have to remember your password. Administration. This would be some administration settings specific for your phone. It is password protected, so your system administrator may or may not provide this feature to you. And then there is an About feature which allows you to check the firmware of your phone. And those are the areas that are in the menu section of this phone. This button here, the 2 vertical lines, is your hold button. So when you make an outbound call and you want to place the call on hold, you press this button. It will place the call on hold on your phone. To retrieve the button, you will see in the display there will be a resume button. So if I demonstrate that here, if I make a call,
welcome to Avaya
to put the call on hold, I just press the button, and I have now put the call on hold. And you'll notice in the display I have a resume button. So to get the call back, I just hit the resume button.
Press *H.
Okay. These buttons here in the center of your phone, this return arrow returns your screen to the previous screen. So an example here, if you are creating a new contact, for example, and you want to go back a screen, you just go back, you press the back arrow, it takes you back one step. This button over here on the right that has the phone on it actually takes you all the way back to the home screen. So this button takes you back one screen. This phone button takes you back to the home screen. I call it phone home. The navigational pane here we talked a little bit about. It just allows you to control where you are in the display area. By default in your display, it will show the time. If you arrow down, it actually will show your physical extension number. And then below that we have 3 soft keys. These are soft keys because the feature that they support changes depending on what you're doing in the display area. So in this case, it is set to redial, contacts, and recents. So if you hit the soft key under redial, it's automatically going to call the last number that you called. If you hit contacts, it takes you to your contact list. This phone doesn't have any contacts in it currently, but if you did, it would list your contacts and you can scroll through them using your navigational pane. The last button here is recents. And again, this shows you your recent call log, so you can arrow through the call log here. Okay. To make a call, all you do is you dial whatever call you want to make. You dial the number, and then you hit the soft key next to call, and that will call your number. Or you can hit the speakerphone as well, and that will call the number as well. I'm sorry, I dialed the wrong number there, but if I do it correctly here, it will call the number for you.
Welcome to Avaya.
Okay, one of the things that you won't see on here is a button for conference or transfer. Those buttons will appear as a soft key when you're on a phone call. So if we demonstrate that, if I make a sample phone call, you'll notice now I have a conference and a transfer button. I'm going to mute so that we don't get the feedback. So if I want to transfer a call, what I need to do is I hit my transfer button, and then I dial the extension number or the external number of where I want to transfer the call to, and I hit call. And when that person answers, you'll notice, let's see here, pardon me, you'll notice I now have a complete button. So if I hit complete, that will send the call from my phone to the destination. Okay, so to recap that, when you're on a phone call, you hit your transfer button, you dial the number of where you want to transfer the call to, and then when you want to complete the transfer, you hit the soft key called complete. Conference works very similar, so if we simulate that, so you make your call, and you'll notice that you have a conference soft key here. So if you hit conference, puts first call on hold, and now you dial the extension of who you want to conference in. And when that person answers, you hit join. Okay, so instead of complete like transfer, you have a join button. So you hit join, and that puts all of you together on a conference. Okay, so again, if I hang this call up, so to conference in a person while you're on a call, you hit your conference soft key, you dial the extension or the external number of who you want to conference in, and then you hit join. Okay, to initialize your mailbox, you'll dial *17.
Welcome to Avaya IP office. For help at any time, press *H. Please enter extension and pound key.
So you enter your extension number followed by the pound
Enter
key.
password and pound key.
Nobody has a password initially, so you just hit the pound key.
Please enter new password
And you'll be
pound key.
prompted to create a new password.
Re-enter password and pound key. Changed. As you use Avaya IP Office, your name will be included in system announcements that you and other people will hear. Press 1, and at the tone, please speak your name. After speaking your name, press 1 again.
So this is the prompt where you're going to record your name so that your name can be included in part of the dial by name directory. So you have to listen and wait till she finishes speaking, and then you press 1. You'll get the tone and you record your name and you press 1 again. Chris.
Chris. To re-record your name, press 1. To approve, press pound.
So I'll press pound to approve.
Chris. No new messages.
So now I am
To
at the
record
main
messages,
menu for
press
voicemail,
1.
where I
To
can check
press
messages.
2.
I
To
can
administer personal greeting,
create a
press
personal
3.
greeting, which I would recommend you doing while you're in your mailbox, and that would be under prompt 3. And you can refer to the documentation you've been provided for voicemail with instructions on how to record your personal greeting. Once you've initialized your mailbox, if you get a new message in your mailbox, the light in the upper right corner of your phone will illuminate red. And to access voicemail, you can dial *17 like we did earlier, or you can go to your menu button and arrow down to the voicemail prompt and hit select. And that will also log you
Welcome to Avaya
into your
IP
voicemail
Office. For help
box.
at
You do
any
have to
time,
enter your
press
extension
star
number
H.
and your
Please
password.
enter extension.
That's the training that we have for you today. If you have any questions, please refer to your system administrator. Thank you.